Good evening all. Get yourself comfortable, grab a beverage of choice, and enjoy the rebirth of this AMD Athlon XP system. If you've seen the DOSBenching video where I benchmarked this board as an integrity check, then you'll be familiar with the hardware that I'm going to be using. This system, when complete, is almost identical to the rig that I would have been using way back in 2005. It is a rather pleasant feeling obtaining hardware that had previously been disposed of. It is something we've all done, but luckily for me I managed to find a working product. I'm actually quite surprised that this board did not require any maintenance. All capacitors looked to be fine, and the board managed to benchmark without any problems. The cap certainly will need to be replaced at some point in the near future, but for now I can enjoy reviving these 20+ year old components back to their former glory. Right then, let's just do a quick recap on the components that I'll be using. First up is a Seagate Barracuda 500GB IDE drive. Now I have two here, but I know that one doesn't really work. Well, it does if you use the freezer technique. Next up we have our WinXP Pro disk. A Mitsumi 3.5-inch floppy disk drive, and finally for drives, it's an LG 52-speed CD drive. And onto the main components of the system. The motherboard is an ASUS A7V8X-X. It has 5 PCI slots and 1 AGP slot. It has a VIA KT400 chipset and a ward bias, and supports 3 PC3200 184-pin DIMMs. The board has IDE support, has 2 IDE controllers, and supports UDMA 133. An onboard Realtek 8201 10-100 megabit network controller. Onboard audio controller, an ADI AD1980. The CPU is an AMD Athlon XP 2800 Plus, 512 MB of PC3200 RAM, and a GeForce FX5200. Initially, this was the motherboard that I'd selected for my WinXP build. It's an ASUS A7V8X Deluxe motherboard. The main difference between the board I've selected and this motherboard are the chipsets. This one having an Nvidia Enforce 2 chipset. The other difference is that this motherboard has an AGP Pro 8X slot. Unfortunately, this board has a bit of an issue. I'm unable to use the keyboard because the keyboard is locked out via the keyboard key lock jumper. Upon a closer inspection, I could see that there was corrosion all over the pins. Being optimistic that corrosion was the main cause of the problem, I thought giving it a good clean with some isopropyl alcohol would sort the problem. Those pins come up really nice after a good clean with some IPA, and a bit of white vinegar to remove the corrosion. Unfortunately, there must be something else going on with this board, as this did not fix the problem. Clearly there must be some kind of short somewhere on this motherboard, convincing the computer that the keylock switch has been jumpered. Hopefully with a little bit of TLC we'll be able to revive this board. But let's get back to the job at hand. That is now our build complete. There's only one thing left to do, and that's give her some power. And unsurprisingly, this machine works great. Thanks for joining me on this XP build, and I'll catch you guys very, very soon.